Hi, so I had someone ask me how I could tell that this was AI generated. So I just want to walk them or anyone else through just what went through my head, just because I think it's important to, um, you know, voice these things if I can, just to help people keep up their visual literacy. Um, so I will preemptively say I come from an art and design background, so I know um, the ways that this could be created by a human or what would be the easiest route. And that's not knowledge that everyone just has, but I'm happy to share it. So if I was to create this image, or if a lot of different people might choose this route, there's many different ways, but I would just, from looking at this, would say that most likely someone would use something akin to or would use Adobe Illustrator. And another method that I think people would implement while using this would be to create a shape or object and copy and paste it if it was a repeating object, just to make the process easier, quicker, and more precise. So, for example, let me get my pen up, sorry. Okay. So these structures, for example, are repeating. You would repeat it, copy and paste it. Of course, this is on a lines of perspectives, so you would have to do slight adjustment. But largely, you would create an object and repeat it, just to make your life easier. And same thing with even just these squares on top of here, or these structures as a whole, or these individual rectangles. They're along perspective lines, but you could largely either copy paste them or repeat them, or draw the perspective lines and then cut them off, but that's another thing. But either way, there's very easy ways to make these incredibly precise when you're creating an image that is on a grid like this. It would be very, very easy, if not easier than doing anything else, would be to keep them perfect and on a set grid. So that is the first thing that caught my eye when I looked at it, and I just thought things looked a little wonky. Everything looks a little wobbly. And then first off the bat, I would call them mistakes maybe that I saw were some blurs. This area, this shape right here, doesn't make much of any sense. These blurs are kind of needless. This one, very specifically, is very odd. This pipe, why wouldn't you just keep a straight line right there? Why wouldn't you just continue this pipe in a nice straight manner? From the artist's perspective, to create this, to make this pipe wonky like this would be more difficult than to just keep it nice and clean the way that this one is. It looks as if someone made a nice perfect pipe right here and then came in with the smudge tool and just smudged it, which is just an extra step that just would make your work look worse. So why would you do that? You can see other examples of this in this area here. Why wouldn't you just repeat these and fill that in? Same thing with these tops. This blur back here. This is a small detail, but this is I think a good one. Is if you were to create this image, which is a very nice, bolt, why wouldn't you just copy and paste it over? So why is there a point missing? And then also top it off to look at the line work. So even if you were to hand draw this, your line work would be incredibly precise. It would be the last thing that you did, so it would be on top of all your gradients and your colors. So why is there so many examples of this where it is bulging into the line work? And that's a very small example, but it's everywhere. I mean, it's right here. It's right here. It's right here. Right there. There's glitches. There's glitches in the line work, which I will say could be other things. But when you take into a context of the whole image and other blurs and weirdness that we've seen, those are just my visual hints. These do not look the same. I mean, inconsistencies with the little marks. And this is a perfect example of something that would be super easy to create one and then copy and paste it. Or at least copy and paste it down upon the same perspective line. So now this was just a quick look for me. I saw some weird blurs. I zoomed in. I went, I got a little suspicious. And then I looked down and saw right down here in the corner this assumingly company name. So I just quickly looked that up to confirm my suspicions, and it is Google Notebook LM. It is an AI research tool and thinking partner that can analyze your sources, turn complexity into clarity, yada, yada, yada. So just an AI tool. So that is just my kind of quick little analysis on how I noticed that, and I just hope it can help other people notice things like this, because it is important as it gets more and more advanced that we can just keep an eye out for it better. Okay, I hope that helped.